This week on The Real Housewives of New Jersey.
Lawyer has actual court findings pertaining to you.
There is someone that makes problems in Louis' life.
This woman I thought was my friend, Dad.
Right. This is cake.
Yo, what is up, everybody, and welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the new episode of The Real Housewives of New Jersey, Season 14, Episode 12. Y'all, this episode had me laughing so hard I was on the floor, so let's get started. Alright, so the first scene is Rachel and her entire family. Her little girl has been doing better being able to speak after her surgery. She's also been having improvements standing up, and I'm so happy that the little girl is healing because I'm sure it must be very hard on them as parents seeing their baby have these problems, but everything is getting better. Thank God Rachel has a beautiful family. The next scene is Jennifer Aydin and her family. Jennifer is filling in her husband on all the things that they did at the slumber party and how they talked about sex and things like her milking his, I don't even want to say it, it grosses me out. So then Bill says that Joe Gorga invited all the men, except Louis, to a guy's night, but Bill said to Joe that he wasn't going to be able to go because he's going to have surgery. But in reality, he's going to go to another guy's night that's being organized by Louis. And in that one, it'll be Bill, Pauley, and maybe Nate. And by the way, while they were having that conversation, Jennifer calls Nate a bitch boy. Why would she say that? She doesn't even know Nate like that. And is it because Nate actually likes and defends his wife, unlike Bill? I don't know, it's weird. And then she says that she doesn't think things will ever be fixed between her and Danielle. Not even at this retreat that they're going to. So then we see Dolores. She FaceTimes Jen Fessler because remember, they're the ones that are sort of organizing this retreat. Dolores found a place in the Berkshires, 8 rooms. And by the way, guess who else lives in the Berkshires? My favorite, Dorinda. But for the sake of everyone, Teresa and Jennifer should probably be in a different place. But as far as the house that they found, Dolores loves it and it's beautiful and she thinks it's going to be amazing. And Dolores really thought this thing all the way through. She even read, she had an actual schedule of all the activities that they were going to do and all the exercises and stuff, but she's very determined to make this thing work. She says that this will be the last effort to fix this friendship group. So the next scene is Marge and Jen Fessler at a nice little outdoor diner. I'm really glad that their friendship is well and that it didn't dissolve because that's how it was looking at the beginning of the season, but I'm glad that they're still intact. Marge says that Joe still needs to go get his biopsy and the results for that. It's still scary, but I think Joe is going to be okay because I don't think we've heard him being diagnosed or anything. And so I'm guessing everything ended up being okay. So here comes the drama. So Jen Fessler says to Margaret, listen, Teresa called me and she wants to have a meeting with some of us girls and have her attorney explain to us some court findings that they found out about you. About Margaret. Margaret is like, what court findings? She says they lie intensively. And then she brings up that this attorney that Teresa's going to be bringing to her house is the same guy who was with her while she was in jail. Now, what cracked me up was when Marge says that Teresa's attorney's office is by the meth clinic in Atlantic City. My attorney's office is by Madison Avenue. My attorney would never be holding court to discredit someone. But that's what happens when your office is by the meth office. Listen, that was funny. But Marge, she does get bothered by this. And she thinks that it's disgusting that Teresa is going to be having this meeting. She also asks, who is going to this crap? And Jen says, pretty much everyone except Rachel. So Marge says, okay, I'm calling everyone immediately. So she FaceTimes Dolores and she says, why would anyone throw a dinner with some attorney? So Margaret, y'all, she was pissed. She was so disappointed in all of them for attending as well. And then she calls Danielle next. She says, are you going to Teresa's bashing of me Thursday night? Listen, Marge is hilarious. She cracks me up. You see, people, don't take these people seriously. When I see these shows, I see them as characters, and they are. But I do want to give a major shout out to Jen Fessler for being a real one, for because after this conversation, she decided to text Teresa and say that she will not be attending. And a real friend would do that. So you go, Jen Fessler. You're loyal. Think about it this way, you guys. If your best friend was invited to a meeting about them, would you be okay if your best friend went? You would not. So let's give it up to Jen Fessler for being loyal. Alright, so then it's guys' night at the Gorga's house. And Joe, I think, partnered up with some like steak shop because the logo was everywhere and they had these massive great cuts of meat, these steaks. So to his house, it was him, John Fuda, Joe, Marge's husband, Frank, and Jen Fessler's husband. Marge also happened to call them to tell them what happened with the whole attorney thing. Now, as they're having their guys' night, Louis is having his guys' night. Not only are the women divided, but it looks like the men are as well. So to Louis's house, or I should say to Teresa's house, it was Louis, Bill, Louis's dad, and Pauley. Louis, they ate a little bit, and then they go into this room that they have that I guess is like a recording studio, and Louis makes them do videos to their wives. Now, listen, thanking and sending love to your wife is amazing, but this was weird. Maybe it was the editing, I don't know, but I'd much rather go to Joe's house. More laughs, good steaks, but I will say it did look like Joe was very upset that Bill decided to go to Louis' house. So then let's go back to Joe's house for a little bit because they were playing poker and whatnot. But then John Fuda began to feel very bad. And I think it's because they were doing some bone marrow shots. I don't know what it was, but he was bad, y'all. He was like literally dying. He was sweating and crying profusely. Joe, Marge's husband, seemed to be very informed, and I loved the way he was taking care of all that stuff. He was saying, no, this is happening to you. We're going to sit you down. You're going to shut up. We're going to call an ambulance. Now, John Fuda didn't want this, but eventually, people came and it was bad. Like they had to put some oxygen onto him. Like he was feeling very bad, and I don't know why he didn't want these people there. Maybe he didn't want a hospital bill. I don't know, but I feel bad for him. But I'm glad that he was able to get under control. What I thought was super cool though was that once they took care of all of that, Joe fed all the cops and the paramedics steaks. Now that's awesome. But this was definitely a crazy guy's night. Alright, so the next morning we see Dolores and Pauley. And the craziest thing happened, y'all. The house that Dolores had picked for the retreat at the Berkshires burned down. What the hell? As far as the Teresa sit down, she says that she doesn't want Marge to be mad at her, but she's gonna go because she's still friends with Teresa. And there really isn't anything that Teresa can say that will probably change her mind. So she's going into it like whatever. Listen, Dolores is gonna be in the middle. And she really is in the middle. And then Pauley tells her about what they did at Louis' house. So then it's time for this clown show at Teresa's house with this crazy James Leonard. All the girls get there, meaning Dolores, Danielle, Jackie, and Jennifer. And of course, Gia had to be with the damn adults, of course. Alright, so this James Leonard says that he's been knowing Teresa for 9 years. And then he says that someone from Louis' past has been creating a lot of problems for Louis. Obviously talking about his ex. So he then says that something in 2021 happened. They found out that the ex was talking to Margaret Josephs. The lawyer representing Louis subpoenaed Marge to answer questions to see if she was in communications with the ex. Marge got the subpoena but didn't go to court. And they found out that Marge was going to expose Teresa and Louis based on the information that the ex was telling her. And then Teresa says, You guys, this is gonna blow your mind. Wait for it. Then the lawyer says, since Louis can't communicate with the ex, Margaret has been talking to the ex. What the hell? Everybody knew this. So then someone, you guys, rings the doorbell. Teresa goes to open the door, and it's this huge, funeral flower bouquet from Marge. And it said to Teresa and Leonard, sorry for your loss. Sorry for y'all losing your integrity. That is freaking hilarious. Not only hilarious, but quite possibly iconic. She sent them funeral flowers. Oh my gosh. Anyway, the guy leaves. Danielle then asks, how are they going to be able to go on this trip? Then Dolores says, we're not. The house burned down to the ground. And they're all like, what? That's some crazy divine intervention. Anyway, that was the end of the episode. Listen, the streets are talking. They saying that the show ain't going to come back. They're saying it's going to go off the air. Now, let me say this. Teresa is going to go down as a total maniac. She made these women lose time out of their days to be told nothing. Anybody who's been watching this show for the past 3 seasons already freaking knows that March has gotten information from the ex. Everybody knows this. And listen, I love that Teresa has her fans, a lot of them, but this woman is the definition of delusional. Her playbook is the same as always. Blame someone else for your problems. Kim D, Caroline Manzo, Jacqueline Larita, Jackie, Melissa, Margaret. It's becoming very embarrassing. Her lobster husband is the root of all these problems, and he seems light as a feather. Meanwhile, Teresa is the one carrying the damn stress of it, disappearing because she's so damn thin. All of this anxiety, and she's probably losing a bunch of money on this too. But listen, I don't feel bad for her. And the guy who calls himself a lawyer, he's a disgrace to his profession. And it's unethical for some random lawyer to be discussing a private case to a bunch of people. And damn, Teresa had to literally bring a lawyer to make the group turn on Margaret. Oh my gosh. If this isn't pathetic and desperate, I don't know what is. Like, seriously, what the hell? I can't, you guys. I was on the floor. I don't take none of this seriously because they're all crazy. Oh, so crazy. Anyway, next week is the season finale. I'm looking forward to that because we're going to get this massive, explosive fight that they keep teasing us about. I can't wait for that. But y'all, let me know what y'all thought about Teresa's dumb, useless meeting with this guy who calls himself an attorney. Listen, I'd rather have a public attorney defending me than that guy. But anyway, you guys, let me know what y'all thought. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all next time. You have a great one.